WC, it's Ron. Thanks for stopping by. Guess what? I got some records to show. Recent finds. 7 albums, a couple of 45s. And I'm not going to chit chat too much, maybe a little bit at the end of the video, but for right now I just really want to get going with the showing. And how this is going to work is going to be kind of like a time travel thing where I'm going to show the more recent recordings first and then go back. So put your safety belts on and get ready to go back into time. Yeah, that was pretty corny, I know. But anyway, first one I'm going to show is the best album from Mazzy Star, So Tonight That I Might See. This is a reissue of it. I don't really want to pay out a lot of money to get an original copy, so this is just fine for me. But I absolutely love this album, and it's their best album. Sort of dreamy, stony folk rock with gorgeous female vocals. And this is a black vinyl pressing. I bought this new, so it's like real recent. On the back there's a sticker that says manufactured in Poland. It's on the Capitol label. And yeah, 4 or 5 star album, their best, just wonderful. It includes the hit that they had, Fade Into You. It opens side 1. It does have a little color insert of the band. And there's the lead vocalist Hope right there. And the band is on the flip. So yeah, this band had, deep roots into the Paisley Underground movement that was going on in Los Angeles. They're connected to Rain Parade, Dream Syndicate, and Opal. So really cool, sounded great, played great, excellent pressing. My only bitch is when I pulled the record out of the paper sleeve, it had some scuffing on it. Not bad, but it's enough to piss you off if you're like me. We pay a lot of money for these records, and there's no excuse for that. They need to step up their quality control and use some polyline sleeves. Now I know I've got on a rant about that on this channel before, and this isn't going to be the last time, because it's like a big pet peeve with me. I absolutely do not see why that has to occur. Get it together, people. This next one is a 45 from the Jam, the Eaton Rifles, and this is an original French 45 from 1979. It has the non-album B-side, Seesaw, which is it's a pretty decent song, nothing fantastic. And this was released April 18th, 1980 actually. Published in 1979 though. It's got that, it's got those hideous molded labels that we all despise. Thankfully, a lot of record labels did not use that. So yeah, excellent copy, and for $3, I didn't hesitate. This next one is from 1975. It's the first album by Patti Smith, Horses. And this is known for its reworking of Them's Gloria, which is quite a bit different from Them's version, but it's based on the same song. This is not a first pressing. It's a little bit later. It's on the black label, Arista. So yeah, really, really cool. The next one is from 1974, and this is a reissue of Gene Clark's No Other. It's a UK import on the 4AD label, and you know that label, highly regarded label for progressive alternative music. So yeah, you might know the story on this one. You know, it came out in '74. It bombed out. There was no hit. Record label Asylum didn't promote it. It was blasted by the critics, the know-it-all critics, and subsequently the public just ignored it. And Gene was devastated. He never got over it. He spent a lot of work a lot of time and work into this making of this album, and a lot of production going on with this, and it was an more expensive album to make because of that. And it was in print for probably not even 2 years, and then it was deleted. So it does have the cardboard inner sleeve with all the lyrics, as well as they reproduced the poster that it came with. Now, this photo is kind of weird. He's all glammed out here, and he looks like he's a member of Alice Cooper, with the big bell bottoms and the long hair, and yeah, it's I don't know what he was thinking, but that is not Gene Clark's image at all. Go figure. But yeah, just a beautiful, wonderful album. It's now on Rolling Stone's list of one of the greatest albums of all time. This next one is regarded as the best album by the Groundhogs, and it's Hogwash. And this is sort of a fold-out cover. US original, and there's the label, United Artists. So yeah, they were based in the blues, but they also did some progressive stuff, and that's what this album is. Really cool. I haven't heard their whole discography, but I have this album and I also have Split, and both of those are definitely recommended by me. And this is the original inner sleeve that it come with the catalog number for the album up in the corner. Just plain blue. Okay, now we're gonna go into the year 1971. I picked up a US original, first pressing, in the original shrink wrap of Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. And this is my favorite Black Sabbath album. I just love the doom metal vibe that it has. And it's on the green Warner Brothers label. Really clean, excellent condition. And here's the original company sleeve that it came with. And I have a reproduction poster from much, much later. More recent times, I think. And but I don't have an original poster, but I'll make do with this one. You can tell it's a reprint by the imagery is a lot darker than the original poster. I think this might have come out in one of the Rhino reissues. This next one is also from 1971, and it's the second album by Brainticket, Psychonaut. I really like this album a lot. Excellent krautrock, way better in my opinion than their first album. The first album is really weird and freaky. This is much more enjoyable much more enjoyable and likable to my ears. And it's a European pressing on hazy clear vinyl. And 180 gram, sounded awesome. Can't go wrong with this one. Okay, this next one is from 1969. It was released in the UK in 1969, and it was released in the US 6 months later in early 71. It's the first album by UFO. Now I recently saw Dave the Pickup Artist show this. He'd recently picked one up, and then like a couple of weeks later I got mine, and I've been looking for this for a long time. So I finally scored a copy out in the wild, and the vinyl itself is excellent condition, just really nice. It's on the Rare Earth label. Covers VG. It did have a huge split at the top. So what I did was, I thought, you know what? This cover is not very nice to begin with. I'm going to repair it. So what I did was I got some of that brown shipping tape that you'd wet and then stick it to your package. So I cut a little thin strip of that, folded it in half, and inserted it along the top of the album cover, and then pinched it tight and let it dry. And so now it's nice and solid. You'd never, I mean, if you look close at the top, you can tell that it's split, but I mean, you really wouldn't even notice it unless you looked inside and saw the tape. I figured, you know what? It's not an expensive album for the most part. The cover is rough. I don't think I'm going to devalue it that much by doing it, so I did it. And yeah, it works out great. So this is just a really excellent underground sounding hard and heavy album. It is marred by some cover versions, but they reworked them in a heavy manner, and overall it's just a really good solid album. I want to look into their second album called Flying, which is more, it's a different style. It's more in the style of krautrock. That album was not released in the United States, so I'd have to either get some sort of a import or reissue of it. But yeah, really cool album. This next one, this one's from 1969, and it's Quatermass. And they were a UK progressive band, three-piece, keyboard, bass, and drums. Kind of like the same setup that Rare Bird had. There is vocal, and just a really good album. And the cover was done by Hypnosis. They took their name Quatermass from Professor Quatermass, who was a character in a British TV serial. He was kind of like he's kind of the hero of the TV show. But yeah, really, really cool album. It's on the Green Harvest label. And I was going to look up the name of these flying dinosaurs. I think it's pterodactyl or pteranodon or something like. I think it's one of those. I really don't remember, but whenever time I see this cover and see those dinosaurs, it reminds me of that Johnny Quest episode. Remember that?
Uh-oh, he spotted us. Quick, Race, behind these boulders. Wow, watch it, Race, he's coming back. Doctor, look out! He's got me, Race. Use the bazooka. This has to work. Oh, he dropped him. Use your rocket belt, Doctor.
So yeah, but cool album to check out. All right, one more album to show, and I've been wanting this one for quite some time, and it's I knew it was not that good of an album, but I still wanted it, you know. It's the first evolution of Dick Dodd, and this was his solo album from 1968 after he'd left the Standells. And you know, it's largely a disappointment when you compare it to his work with the Standells. It was, you know, it's not as bad as I had originally thought it was going to be before I heard it. It's got a little bite on side one. He does a really nice cover version of Lonely Weekends by Charlie Rich. Now, it's not as good as the Remains cover version of that song, but he did a pretty decent version of it. So like the first three songs are pretty decent, and then it goes down a little bit after that. And side two opens up with a song called Hope, which was originally done by the Candymen, they put out a couple of albums on ABC, and that was Roy Orbison's backing band originally. So he does that, and you know, it's got the usual Ed Cobb involvement. He wrote a lot of the songs and did production work and all that stuff. But I love the site cover. Absolutely fantastic. And I didn't notice it at first, but down here on the sides, there's profiles of two fetuses. And then there's a fetus on the back. And there's a for DJ use promo stamp right here. Now this one doesn't, there are white label promo copies of this, but this one just has the standard stock label. So yeah, I'm a big Standells fan, and I really like Dick Dodd's vocal, so I had to have this. And it wasn't that, you know, it was like, I got it for like a little over 25 bucks for a nice copy, so good deal. Okay, one more, and this was going way back into time. Now I picked this up for a couple dollars. You know, it's really rough, but you know, I didn't hesitate to get it for what it is. And it's an original 45 by Warren Smith on the Sun Records label, and it's Rock and Roll Ruby. And Rock and Roll Ruby was written by Johnny Cash. And he let Warren Smith do it, and Johnny was known to have done it. I guess there's an acetate of him doing it, and he did it live on rare occasions. He did it live. But yeah, I mean, I had to get it. So this is Warren Smith's first single. I believe it's 50, when did this come out? 56 or 57. Then his very next second single was You Bangy Stomp, which I've played on my channel before. Yeah, it's like in G condition. It's pretty scratched up. I played it on my Crosley and it sounded good. You know, no problems. So, cool. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show something with the Dick Dodd. Let me get this out. This is it's a music newspaper that came out in the 60s, and it came out in November 1968. And this one is actually from Detroit. Now, I've seen this Go paper before with other call letters on it, you know, so they had these, I think they printed these things up to be sent across the nation to various local sellers. I don't know how it's distributed exactly, but it's pretty cool. So you open it up, and there is a ad for that Dick Dodd album, and it doesn't even say that he was the former member of the Standells, but at least Capital Tower promoted it to some extent. But the album did fail, get bombed. So that's, you know, a reason they're so kind of scarce to get. And so that was pretty cool to have that. And then on the opposite side, that album, the Dick Dodd album, was actually released at the same time as the Beatles' White Album, November of '68. So here's a ad for the White Album. So I've had this thing a long time. I've had this over 40 years. Over 40 years it's been in my archive. I think I have another one, but it's a different issue. Okay, I guess that's gonna do her. I just wanted to mention real briefly that